yesterday, we saw two fantastic games, but starting with Columbia versus Washington, because in that game, we saw defense. We saw getting in the paint and knocking down shots. We saw 3-point baskets that mattered, and we just saw some theatrics at the end of the game. So, first up, let's talk about the first half in this game, where the winner of this game was going to have a date with West Virginia. And both teams wanted to have that date. And in the first quarter, we saw it basically be total domination by Washington. At the end of that first quarter, it was 21-10 because Washington was getting the ball in the paint, scoring, and they were shutting down Columbia. And in the second quarter, you were thinking, okay, well, maybe Columbia can kind of make some stuff happen. They did toughen up on defense in that second quarter. However, they still couldn't really get a groove. And ultimately, guys, at halftime, Columbia was down bad. They had to get back in this in order to win their first ever NCAA tournament game, and they did just that. At halftime, the score was 34 Washington, 21 Columbia. And in that third quarter, Columbia starts to cut the lead down. They go on a 11-4 run in that third quarter, knocking down shots and just doing whatever they could on defense to slow down Xavier Sellers, to slow down El Ladine, and it worked. And in that fourth quarter, Columbia was letting it fly from the three ball. They had 4 threes in that fourth quarter. Huge momentum swing in this game. And ever since then, they didn't really back down. We did see towards the end of the game, Columbia did have the lead, but the fantastic shooting of El Ladine was able to cut the lead to just a 1-point game with less than 13 seconds left to go. Columbia was ultimately able to get fouled, make their free throws, and El Ladine tried another 3-point basket to ultimately tie the game. She missed it, and the game was over from there. Columbia make it to their first ever win in an NCAA tournament game, and they are ecstatic.
This is my home, right? This is home for me. It's my alma mater, and it amazes me what we can do when we have great people understanding why we're doing what we're doing. I just think you can do so many hard things together, and that's like the greatest reason that I'm coaching is, I want to teach these young people how to do hard things together, and that's, I think, somewhat lost in society right now. And honestly, I'm blessed that I get to do that Peter Pilling, our director of athletics, hired me when I was 30 years old to lead this program. Just a kid, just really hungry. I'm sure he was like, all right, Megan, cool it a little bit. But here we are doing what I always thought we could do. So again, it's special just seeing a group come together and do hard things together.
So shout out to Columbia for getting the job done. Next up, we got to talk about another series of firsts, which was High Point versus William and Mary. And both of these teams have never won a game in the NCAA tournament. And so this was going to be history for whoever got the job done. And in that first quarter, guys, it was a neck-and-neck battle with two different strategies. For the Tribe, aka William and Mary, they were knocking down 3-point baskets. That was a strategy. Knock down your 3-point shots. And for the Panthers, it was all about getting in the paint and scoring. Get some scoring in. And it was threes versus twos in that game. And at the end of the first quarter, we saw William and Mary have the lead 17-15. In that second quarter, we saw William and Mary continue to knock down shots. They ultimately, at halftime, was 6 of 9 from the 3-point basket. And High Point was trying their best to stay in this game. And again, continuing to knock down shots inside, but they were struggling from the three, because I feel like I've said this before, but the 3 ball is going to be so critical when it comes to the tournament this year. Who's going to be able to knock down shots? Because the team who is knocking down shots from the perimeter is most likely going to be the team that is going to win this game. And in that third quarter, we saw High Point start to kick it into gear. They started to knock down 3-point baskets. They were doing their big one on defense against William and Mary. And they were able to cut the lead down to just a 1-point game at the end of the third quarter. The score was William and Mary 47, High Point 46. We go into the third quarter, and this was again an absolute battle back and forth. Who was going to get the dub? Because here's the deal. We saw we were going to see history regardless of who actually won this game. And at the end of the day, it was offensive rebounds that cost High Point the game. Towards the end of the game, we saw William and Mary get 3 critical offensive rebounds on missed shots to get the putback and to ultimately wear down High Point. Sometimes all it takes is just a little rebound that will help to determine the game. And for William and Mary, yes, they were able to knock down some threes in this game, but the difference in this game was their ability to get offensive rebounds when it mattered the most. 45 rebounds for William and Mary in this game, only 31 for High Point. The Tribe ended up getting 15 offensive rebounds to High Point's 9, and that ultimately, guys, was the ball game. High Point played some really good defense against William and Mary, right? They held them to a low scoring game. They held them to a bad scoring percentage. However, when it mattered the most, when time was winding down, you did not get those offensive rebounds, and that is what cost you the game. So High Point loses, and William and Mary, the Tribe, for the first time ever, wins an NCAA tournament game. Very, very, very exciting. Now, guys, also, what makes it even more exciting is that this is their first year even in the NCAA tournament. So, a whole series up first. So, again, shout out to William and Mary.
I could melt right now. I am so filled with pride. They were so nervous. I spent the entire day figuring out how to calm their nerves. I kept saying, I need to figure out, what things I want to execute after timeouts and all of this stuff. And then I couldn't focus on it because I needed to make sure that my girls were okay. These are my babies, right? They have been through everything. They have given everything to be at William and Mary. They chose this place, and they have completely bought into me, my staff, and what this university stands for. So to see them have the success that they are having right now, I could melt. I could melt.
So fantastic games all around yesterday, and we are on to today, guys, because we got through the first 4. Now here comes the actual real NCAA tournament where 64 teams will battle it out in the first round. Now, guys, the first round for the NCAA is split between 2 days. So today and then tomorrow. Will be the first round games. And for today, we got a whole bunch of games to get into. So again, it's 64 teams in the first round, which means there are 32 games that are happening. 32 games. That's a lot of basketball. I'm just saying. That is a whole lot of basketball. And if you stay tuned on this channel, I will keep y'all up to date on every single game. Okay, I hope y'all are excited about it because we about to be super busy here. Last year, I don't know if y'all watched the channel last year, but last year I literally did a recap for every single round. It was a lot. It was exhausting, but it was fun to do, and we about to do the same thing again today, or this time around. And today, here are some games that you all need to look out for. We got Michigan versus Iowa State. That game is happening at 11:30 Eastern Time a.m. And I think Michigan is going to take care of business. Ultimately, Silas Swords and Olivia Olson are just a little bit too much to handle, in my opinion, when it comes to Iowa State. So ultimately, I do see Michigan getting that dub. It should be overall a really good game, but ultimately I think Michigan's going to win. We also have Liberty versus Kentucky as well. That game is happening at 12 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Now, here's the deal. Liberty is here because they won their conference championship, right? I don't think this is going to be that crazy of a competitive game, to be honest with you. I think we're going to see Kentucky kind of wipe the floor with Liberty. That's my opinion, but ultimately we'll see. I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong. W. Bazil says, will you be doing any play-by-play? I will not, because I have to work today. So I will not be doing any play-by-play today. So I will be connected to all the games. I'll be following the games, and then I'll likely watch them back after I finish work. But I will not be doing any live play-by-play. No. Unfortunately, no. Maybe for some of the Saturday games, but not for today's games. All right, Brandon, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, quit it in the morning. What up, what up, what up? Salute to you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are in the mornings and we talk about some women's hoops. This is what we do every single day. Make sure to hop in the chat. Turn on your YouTube every single morning at around 7:15 to 7:30 a.m. every single morning as we recap what happened the day before and what's going to happen upcoming. Okay? All right. We also have Utah versus Indiana. I think ultimately Utah ends up losing that game. And we see Indiana take it. This is a game that I actually really wanted to go to, but unfortunately I can't. Which was overall, I was like, oh, that's such a huge bummer. But you gotta actually make some money. You can't just watch basketball all day because that doesn't actually pay anything. Anyway, we got Notre Dame playing SF Austin. Now this game is happening at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Now again, this is not very far from me, but it's during the day and I can't go because I got to work. So anyway, that's a game that I think Notre Dame should easily wipe the floor with SF Austin. I don't think it shouldn't be a close game. It really shouldn't be. If it is, I think it's very, very, very suspect. Right? Very, very suspect. We also have Fairfield versus K-State. That game is happening at 2:30 p.m. on ESPN News. Again, all the times I'm saying are Eastern time. I am personally Central time, but I know a good amount of the people who watch my channel are Eastern time. So that's why I'm giving it Eastern time. Anyway. We also have FDU, which is Fairleigh Dickinson, going against TCU, which is Texas Christian University. That is happening at 3:30 p.m. on ESPN2. I think TCU should easily get the dub. I mean, you got Sedona Prince, who is like the biggest thing out there. You got Haley Van Lith, who is proven to be a pretty good facilitator for her squad, and also someone who can knock down some shots as per usual. We got GCU versus which is Grand Canyon University versus Baylor University. I think Nikki Collins, she's gonna get her team right. They should win this game with not that much problem. Here's the deal. In the men's NCAA, there are a lot of upsets, right? Quite a bit of upsets in the men's NCAA. For women, it's not too many upsets in the first round when it comes to the women. In a lot of ways, it's just chalk. In a lot of ways. Not all the time, because as we all know, anybody can get got. Anybody can and will get got. But overall, it's likely going to be a lot of chalk for this first round. We also have South Carolina playing today. And this is one of those games that should not be much of a issue. They're playing against Tennessee Tech, and South Carolina's going to dominate. I think it's probably going to wind up being like a 30 to 40 point game victory for South Carolina, but ultimately we got to play the game and we got to see what happens. But shouldn't be that big of a game. We also have Ohio State versus Montana State. I think yes, Ohio State wins this game. I don't think it's that big of a blowout. Maybe around like 10 points or so. They'll beat Montana State. But yeah, I think they should easily win that game without a crazy amount of issue. We also have Vandy versus Oregon. In that game, Vandy's going to come out swinging. They are absolutely going to come out swinging. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Vandy ends up winning. Okay? So that could be the upset of sorts. If we see Vandy take down, hold on, guys. I just got distracted. Yeah. So right now I have Vandy beating Oregon, but like Oregon could beat Vandy. We don't know. Vandy's a 7 seed versus Oregon, who is a 10 seed. We also have Ole Miss versus Ball State. I do think this is a game that Ole Miss locks down on defense and makes some stuff happen. I don't see a chance of Ole Miss getting got. I mean, anything can happen, but yeah, as of right now, I do not see it. But hey, could be wrong. Because here's the deal, guys, we just don't know. We just don't know. We have Nebraska versus Louisville. That game, Louisville should win ultimately. We also have Georgia Tech playing later today, and they are going to rock out against Richmond. This is a game that technically Richmond is a better squad, but I do think Georgia Tech ends up taking the cake in this one. We have Lehigh versus Duke as well. Duke should kind of easily get this dub. We have South Florida versus Tennessee, and Tennessee got that. That game is happening in the evening, so there might be a chance I may go live for part of that game, possibly. And then to end the game in the day, we have UCLA versus Southern. That game is the latest game of the day because they are West Coast time, and so it's inconvenient for us who live either in the Midwest or the East Coast. It sucks for us because it's very, very late. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. I'm excited to watch this game. As I said yesterday, I watched Southern's first 4 game, and I was thoroughly impressed. And I'm excited to watch this game. Yes, of course, UCLA should win this game pretty easily, but I like the fight in Southern. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go live for that one because here's the deal. Because I'm doing these live streams first thing in the morning, I want to actually do a full recap of all the games, including highlights and whatnot, and I don't think I'll be able to get enough sleep and be able to do that first thing in the morning on Saturday. So if I go live, I'm definitely not going live for the whole game. I may hop in to just say a point or two and then hop back out. So yeah, that's one thing. That is one thing to know. All right, let's see if y'all have any comments to share, and then we will go into the WNBA news. All right. Whoa, what up? Vanessa is hanging out with the awesome people of the internet from Jordan. Okay. Salute to you, Vanessa. Hope you are doing well in Jordan. I always love to see the folks who are international in the crowd. We got Jared from Berlin. Okay. I love it. FaZe is saying Paige and UConn winning it all. Denise is saying Gamecock fans in the house. Y'all always in the house now. Oh man, it seems like the biggest fan bases is UConn, South Carolina, LSU, Iowa. Though less Iowa than last year. Yeah, those are like the high fans, it seems. At least from the chat, it seems. Thank you so much, Jared, for your comment. Says absolutely admire and love your coverage of women's basketball. Quita, I am a U.S. expat living in Germany and an avid women's basketball fan. Which number one or high seed do you think may fall first? Question mark. Well, one, thank you so much for rocking with me. Two, I would say that Texas will be the first number one seed to fall, in my opinion. In my opinion, they are the first to fall, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I have Texas actually losing in the Sweet 16. But we'll see what happens. I think Tennessee go end up probably taking the cake against Texas. But yeah, those are my thoughts on that front. Brandon says, "Let's go LSU." Lynette is saying UCLA is taking it. Okay. Banji says, "Good morning, Quita. It's about to go down. It is about to go down. It is. So I hope y'all got y'all seats buckled. This is about to be a fun ride. Yes, we may not see some fireworks in the first round, but as the rounds go on, it's going to get a little toasty for the higher seeds. I'm just saying, expect some upsets later on. Expect some upsets. Lynette, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, love your channel. UCLA is taking it. Okay, Lynette. Okay. I tell you this. Corey Close, I believe she just won the Coach of the Year award. If UCLA wins the whole thing, Corey Close is getting herself a huge payday, and UCLA about to get some more significant recruits coming in the door. I'm just saying.